Good morning, Children's Discipleship teams. I'm so excited for you to serve with us this summer. This video is going to provide you all the training and logistical information that you're going to need as we start our new semester in June. June and July run a little bit differently for Children's Discipleship, and in the past, you might have done a team training to transition. You might not have done any specific training, but this year, especially because of COVID, and there is a lot shifting because things have opened up a little bit more. We do just want to make sure that everyone feels prepared and prepped for just kind of general expectations and logistics as you come to serve. This summer, we'll have 9 ministry teams running. And I am going to run you through a basic structure first of information that applies to all of the teams, because there is information that just blanketly applies to everyone. And then we'll transition into a time that is just room specific information that will be helpful as you serve and disciple the kiddos in your room. So first and foremost, we're going to go over child protection. That's a really important policy for everyone, including the security hosts, the coordinators, everyone. We are going to talk a little bit about drop-off and pickup, and that includes your arrival for the morning. We're going to talk about the end of the day, some logistics with that. I'm going to go over some basic things about the sickness policy, and then I will hit some high-level things on scheduling. Now, it's really important to know in the email that I sent you, I have sent you a hard copy of this information. So if you're more, if you like to read, if you're more of a visual learner, this might be a good way for you to engage, and the video might not be as important. But I just wanted to be able to give everyone different formats so that they can just do what is best for their learning style. I will say the video does have some visuals like the 4 to 6 bathroom break that can be really helpful for everyone. So here we go. Child protection. So this does not ever change. We want everyone to have a very clear understanding. No adult is to be in the children's discipleship wing any point of any church event, just you and the child, or you and a group of children. There should always be 2 adults, non-related, so either not in the same family or not married, at the same time with the kids. This provides protection for the kids so that, God forbid something happened unseemly. It also provides protection for the adult because we always want to be able to be there and provide accountability and just ensure that nothing is happening. So that is really important and really helpful for everyone to note. So if you ever find yourself in a situation where it is just you and a child or you and a group of children, you always need to use your walkie-talkie, especially on Sunday morning, to call for help. There's always the coordinator. You can always call the security host. They all have a walkie-talkie in the morning, but it's much better to call for help and to pull someone out of their normal position than it is to ever be alone with one child or a group of children. For just some basic logistical information with drop-off, the servant team, so for the servant team, the teacher and the coordinator are going to arrive at 8:15 on Sunday mornings. That will give them time to run through some pre-service things, and will also give them an opportunity to pray together before the servant team starts arriving. Servant team members, all the class facilitators, the security host, you should all arrive. Basically, if you're on a team and you're not a coordinator or a teacher, you are going to arrive at 8:30 on your morning of service. I know it can be difficult with kids, but we're really asking everyone to stick to arriving at 8:30. This gives you time to be able to print your name tag, to print your children's name tags if you need to. If your kids need to come with you, if you and your spouse are both serving, we need to make sure that your children stay with you until 8:45. That way, all the servant team members have plenty of time to get there. When you arrive, if you are on one of those teams, you are going to find the coordinator and let her know you have arrived. You will go to a station and print your name tag, and then you will go up to your room after she has given you your devotional, or he. Tim is serving now, so I shouldn't leave out the he. So you will get a devotional sheet that's got some basic information about what we're studying that day, some devotional information for you to read and just prepare your heart as you get ready for the kids to arrive. All of your lesson, your schedule, all the activities will be prepped and in your room on the shelf if you are facilitating a classroom. So you should not really have to do anything other than just come in, find the coordinator, print your name tag, and then go prepare your heart for the kids to arrive. Drop off, like I said, for the kids will start at 8:45. So that is always the case. They will print their name tag. The parents now will be able to go to the station and print their name tag and drop their children off at the classroom. So this will be the first time that we are receiving families during check-in. The one thing that I really want to emphasize is, irregardless of whether you know the parent or not, if you see a parent come to check in, and this applies to everyone, the security host, the teacher, the coordinator, the best thing that you can do to set the morning up for success is to just be a welcoming presence. So greet the parent. If you don't know them, introduce yourself. Introduce yourself to their child. If you don't remember names, just give them your name and it'll prompt them to give you their name. We really want to create a culture of hi and welcome. So when people come in, they can feel comfortable and engaged. We do not want anyone feeling unprepared or running around so that they can't engage in this way. So if you feel that way, please reach out to me so that I can help remedy whatever is getting in your way of that culture of welcome. For all of the class facilitators, when a person brings a child to your class, when check-in starts at 8:45, again, I want you to do one of two things. If you don't know them, introduce yourself to their child, see if there's anything they want you to know. If you know them, still greet them, greet their child. That is something I really want us to focus on this year. It's just that culture of welcome as we come into the building. And hopefully the teachers and the coordinators will be able to lead out in that way, because they'll be the first ones kind of at the building, and they will be greeting the servant team members as they come. So even with the servant team members, we want to establish that welcome culture. At pickup, obviously now the parents are going to be all coming back in the wing, so they will be able to come to the class. When you see parents start to present in the hallway, one facilitator in each class needs to stand at the door with the roster. After all the check-in is complete, the coordinator will bring by your roster for the morning. And if you are a class that leaves your room at any point, you need to make sure you take your walkie-talkie and your roster. When checkout starts, you want to have your roster ready so that you can meet the parents. We really want to try to not have the parents come into the classroom. It just makes some of the kids disoriented and upset. So we want to stop the parents at the door, greet them, ask for their call tag, ask for their child's name so we can call the child to us. We can check the name security tag against their name tag on their body, and then I want you to take off their name tag and stick it to the back of the roster. This just allows us to double check that everyone was checked out and had their checkout tag. After all of the kids are gone, before you leave the classroom, you're going to collect all the trash from the morning and put it in the trash can in the liner. Tie up the liner and put it outside of your classroom in the hallway. This allows the coordinator to come by and pick up all the trash at the end of the morning and take it outside, because the cleaning crew, that's contract employees for the church, do not come until the following Friday. So if we have church on Sunday, it's almost 7 days before they come back to the building to take out all the trash. And so we want to preempt and just prevent any food or diapers or anything from collecting and causing the rooms to stink. So you will put all the trash and set the bag outside tied up. And then you will there is a thieves cleaner on your shelf, and you're going to spray down the toys and any horizontal surfaces in the room. This just helps prevent any viral transmission of illnesses or anything. We just want to leave the room clean. And then it will have, 6 days in between services to just we let the room rest. There are some small groups that are starting to meet at the church, but on the whole, the rooms get to rest during the week. The sickness policy. So this we started during COVID, and we're going to keep going with this. If you or your children have experienced any contagious symptoms, I'm going to put the list up, but it's nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, fever over 100.4, or a skin rash that's discolored or bumpy. It looks very different, like it looks like an allergic reaction to something. If you're experiencing any of those things on Friday or later, so if you're serving on Sunday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, if you're experiencing any of those things, then we want to call out sick. We do not want to have illness, especially contagious illness, back in the children's area. So that can include anything from stomach bug to strep throat to pink eye, anything that has a viral or a bacterial presentation within 48 hours. We want to be safe rather than sorry. So a couple last things on the overall teams. Now, you have been scheduled already for the summer. You have your committed dates. If you go into the system, you can even see, if you go, when you pull up the bridge, after you log in, on the left-hand side, there is a drop-down menu in the left-hand side. And in the drop-down menu, you select schedules and plans. And when you click on that, in the top right-hand corner of the screen, it's going to say My Serving. You would click on My Serving to be able to see all the dates that you or your spouse, if you have one, are scheduled to serve over June and July. If you're already on a team now, you may see May as well if you have dates at the end of May. But this will allow you to always have on hand, even if you forgot to put it in your calendar, you can always go check and see what your dates were. Now, if you figure out that a date doesn't work, and this will happen, especially it's already happened with a couple of teams, because summer schedules and scheduling vacations, like that doesn't always happen 2 months in advance. So if something happens and the date that you were scheduled for and you signed up for is not working for your schedule anymore, this semester we're trying something new because we're not using GroupMe anymore. That system did not work very effectively, because if people mute their GroupMe and then no one looks at it, then you're not getting responses to any of the requests. So what we did is Sarah and I put together a contact list and an overview of the scheduling before anything changes during the term. So what you can do is if you need to reschedule, you go click on this document, and it will also be sent to you in an email. I can send you an image of it if you can't find your email and you need to reschedule. But you are responsible for finding someone to swap with you on your team so that you can swap dates. Because we have decided to only run 8 people on a team, there now is not just a built-in cushion on the teams. There are some subs in case you can't swap dates, but what we want you to do is go in this, look at the schedule, find the 2 dates that are around your date. So if you're supposed to work on June 6th and you can't do it, and you figured that out, you need to look at May 30th and June 13th. There will be 4 people, because there's 2 people a week. You text those 4 people to see if anyone can swap dates with you. So if someone on May 30th can swap, then you're going to go to May 30th and they will go to June 6th. And that way we prevent people from over-serving, but we also utilize our teams and everyone serves their committed time. If you find a swap, it is very helpful for you to text me and so that I can know that. Right now, I'm going to put my text number up on the screen. I actually want everyone to take a minute and just program that in your phone. It is very helpful for you to be able to keep me informed. especially if you swap dates, this makes sure that you still get the reminder, you still get the email, because we go by what's in the system. If you don't switch the system or one of us doesn't switch the system, you're going to get the reminder a week late, or you're not going to get it in time. So we want to make sure that the system stays correct so that we can send you the correct reminders, and it's not confusing for you or us. So that is all the major team information. Now we're going to have some room specific information for your teams, and then we'll end with one small reminder. Good morning, Children's Church team. You guys probably have the most shift in structure of all the teams. It does make your time back with the kids a little bit shorter, but I do think it hits on a lot of the big values of our church. So if you have served with us prior to COVID, you know that we have a mid-service dismissal for Children's Church. So if you've been in the sanctuary in the last couple of months, you know in the middle of the service, after the children's sermon, we dismiss Crossroads. That's like the middle school equivalent to children's discipleship right now. For us, we still want you guys, when it's your day of service, to arrive at 8:30. This does allow you still to check in with the coordinator, to get your name tag, and to make your way to the sanctuary. The coordinator will, when she gets you kind of checked off on her sheet, she will give you your devotion. So you'll be able to go to the sanctuary and just kind of rest your mind while we prepare for the service to start. Because you guys will have a mid-service dismissal following the children's sermon, or by the end of the summer, it might just be a children's element. We will always call for Children's Church dismissal. It is very helpful for you to sit on the right side of the sanctuary as close to the wooden cross as you can, because when you dismiss, there's 2 adults for Children's Church, and one of them is going to walk through the door behind the cross to stand at the next door and make sure that the kids all remain in the hallway while you wait for all the Children's Church kids to get to you. So one of you will go through that door and stand at the next door at the end of the hallway. The other one of you will stand at the door behind the cross. You're going to hold the door open, and you're going to make sure that the children coming past you have a name tag for Children's Church. If they do not have a name tag on their upper clothes, you can just tell them, hey, and this might happen the first couple weeks because parents are not used to printing name tags before the mid-service dismissal. Like, oh, we need to go back to your mom, and you guys can go to the lobby and get a name tag. And then the parent can bring them from the lobby down under the church back up to the lesson and worship room. But we cannot accept children because then they will not be on the roster, and we will not really know what children are with us if we do not make sure they all have a name tag. So please make sure that all the kids, if you're the one standing at the door behind the cross, you check they all have a name tag before they make it past you into the hallway. Once all the kids are checked and you're all in the hallway, you're going to close the door to beside the cross, and then you will open the door at the end of the hallway. The person that was keeping the kids in the hallway will open the door and lead that line of kids up to lesson and worship. Please do not let the kids run past you to the lesson and worship. If you dismiss early from the sanctuary, the 4 to 6 class might still be dismissing from the classroom. So we want to wait patiently outside the door until the 4 to 6 are able to get out of the room so that Children's Church can come into the room. And this will just avoid anyone getting hurt or anyone getting lost or anything like that. All right, we will not be doing a scheduled bathroom break because the kids aren't even coming until really the middle of the service to Children's Church. So if there's an emergent situation, you can walkie-talkie the coordinator. And since you'll have a teacher and 2 facilitators in that classroom, one of the facilitators can go with the coordinator to take the child to the bathroom. This does prevent us from having to constantly pull out parents if something happens, because usually this doesn't happen. It's very rare that a child needs to go to the bathroom in the middle of class with the mid-service dismissal. our discipline policy. Now, this is really important because there are some kiddos, especially the boys in children's church, that if they have a hard time learning, if they're having an overwhelming day, it is better to just take them through this policy and let them dismiss back with their parents. And the parents are very aware that you guys are not meant to be behavioral managers. You are there to engage with the kids and facilitate their learning. And that's the main thing I usually say to the kids in this age if they're not sitting still or they're being really distracting. I always try to praise in public, so in front of everyone, feel free to say kind, encouraging words. But reprimand or discipline in private. So I would leave the door open to the room and just pull the child into the hallway. So you're still in view, you're still following child protection, but you're able to talk to that child one-on-one. So if a child is just being really defiant, you want to pull them into the hallway. After a couple of reminders, if they're still not listening, then you want to pull them into the hallway and you just want to say, hey, what's going on this morning? How are you feeling? Like, you seem like you're really frustrated or angry or whatever. You can offer them a snack because on the top of the cabinet is going to be a bowl of fruit. So offer them a piece of fruit. I know that seems counterintuitive. They've only been at church for an hour, but it's surprising. If a child is a picky eater, their blood sugar might always be running very close to hangry level. So you just want to facilitate that for them. You can offer them a snack. If the child still is just refusing to listen or you have to pull them out of the room again, at that point, we do want to get the coordinator. And you want to use, attached to the table with the teaching supplies in your room is going to be a roster for all the potential kids that could check in. It will have the parents' names and contact numbers. So you want to take that sheet out in the hallway with you and text their parent. You need to get the coordinator up. So you want to walkie-talkie the coordinator, pull the list off the table, put the child in the hallway, get the coordinator with you, and then text the parent so the parent can come back. The coordinator can hang out with the child while you and the parent talk. At this point, the parent has two options. One, they can stay in the class with the student, and there are blue name tags on your teaching table at the front of the room. They would put a blue visitor name tag on, and then they can enter the classroom with their child. Now, unfortunately, in the 2 years I've been doing this, no parent has chosen to stay with their child. It is really good for them. Encourage the parents and say, it's really good for you to stay because it doesn't reward the child for acting out, but it also allows them to see and allows you to see their struggle in the classroom so that you can carry over at home with them. And I imagine it might be something that they experienced in the past with school, and so the parent could provide some insight for that. The other option the parent always has and usually takes is they can take the child with them back to the sanctuary. And that's okay. When I pull the kids out, the first thing I always do is offer them a snack. And the second thing I do is always just say, this might not be your day. We all have bad days, and you're not bad or wrong for having a hard day. But we do want to put you in an environment where we're not setting you up for failure. So, if a child needs to leave, that's okay. Everyone has a bad day. So lastly, this age group is going to stay on curriculum with the larger church. So when the children come up and dismiss after the children's element, either that's the children's sermon or another form of a children's element, they're going to come to the class and the teacher's going to teach them an observation, interpretation, application, like a Bible study method that is able to help them go deeper in the text, because this is the age where they're starting to own their faith a little bit more. They have gotten a basic overview of what's in the Bible. So now we want them to be able to understand for themselves how to look at and read and study scripture. It's not super application heavy. unless the text dictates that. But we do want to facilitate them thinking more deeply about the text, more than just the superficial story, because that's really what they're doing in the classrooms before in the 4 to 6 is really understanding what is the Bible saying. Now we want to be able to think about maybe why it's saying it, or more of those interpretive questions. So I'm really excited about this. You guys are going to have sheets that will tell the parents. We did an electronic newsletter each week for the parents, but we're going to start printing those to have those available for the parents when they come pick their child up. It's just another way for them to be able to talk about scripture with their kids. And it's something that they hopefully are studying as well. If our parents are studying leading up to Sunday, or any of our members are studying leading up to Sunday, then it's easy to talk about those things together. But it does help guide the parents in how to have an age-appropriate discussion on some of those things. Your basic structure, obviously you're going to have dismissal. They'll come straight to the classroom and you guys will do a lesson with the teacher. At that point, because the kids have been in the sanctuary and they've done worship, they've come and gotten a lesson, we are going to break up the groups between you two facilitators and have some group prayer time. This has been really sweet in Children's Church for the last year. And the main way that we do it, I'm going to put up an image. This is from one of the weeks. These were the prayer requests and the kids that prayed for each other. We have children share a prayer request, and then we always have one of the children volunteer to pray for them. And then you are really just there to facilitate that prayer. So a lot of times I will open the prayer and then I call out the name of the next person that will go. The kids don't really have a lot of capacity for remembering, like, what order am I praying and who am I praying for? Like, they all are thinking about who they're praying for and what they're praying for. So I might pray to open and then call out McKenna, Joshua, and I just kind of lead them through, and they just pray for each other. And it's been really sweet and kind of neat to see them grow in an understanding of how to pray out loud together as a community. And then the last thing we're going to do in the class, we're going to stay in those two groups and we're going to do some type of service element. So this could be writing encouragement cards to the staff. It could be putting together supplies for one of our ministry partners. It could be praying for one of our ministry partners. It could be talking about and having a little mini activity on church planning if it's church planning Sunday. There's a lot of options for what that can look like, but it's just a way to think more about the discipline of serving and being a member and engaging in that way in the body of Christ. So that's the basic structure for the classrooms. And then the parents are going to come pick the kids up from Children's Church. So what we will do is the teacher, after the parents start to present in the hallway, the teacher is going to grab the roster and move towards the doorway. You guys will stay with your kids, and the teacher will take the call tags and call out kids' names. So the kids will be dismissed out of those smaller groups to the door and out of the room. So it'll prevent a lot of confusion and a lot of kids up and looking out the door and trying to look for parents. The kids need to stay until they're called and their call tag is checked. So that will really be something that I'll review that process with the teachers, but just know that the teacher is going to manage that a little bit from your classroom. And then the teacher will actually take care of turning off the technology in the lesson and worship. You guys will more use the thieves spray to spray down all the chairs and make sure that the supplies are kind of cleaned up. All right. I'm so excited to serve with you guys, and I will see you very soon. Really quickly, I'm going to put up on the screen a link, and I need everyone, as you're done with this video, it takes 2 seconds. You're going to click on this link. It's rvrsd.org/CD Team Agree. This is just a basic service agreement. It's going to cue to me that everyone's done with their training. It's also going to provide you with some very clear behavioral expectations for the team. So please go do that right now, and I look forward to serving with you.